What is up, guys? So, my mobile carrier insists that I have perfect reception, and I insist that I don't because I only see two bars. But since they're never wrong, and I'm always wrong, I am going to take a massive risk at streaming this. And that is, of course, I had a thought about, what is it that people used to talk about years ago that I would see it all over about how it's difficult to be a girl or what makes it difficult to be a girl. And then I always thought that the stuff that they were talking about was just you being a living, breathing, functioning human. And some people were upset about that. So I decided that I was going to pull up one article and read through it and see what the author has to say about her experience as an individual who carries two X chromosomes. So I'm over here on the amazing Huff Post, and I am reading something called Why It's Hard to Be a Woman. And this was written on September the 30th, 2016, by someone called. Uh, and then she starts off by talking about that day of the month, how it happens from the moment you start your, I guess, puberty until you're dead. And then your religion may interfere with your decisions as to whether to take birth control or not. And then your hormones, patterns, and stuff. And then can't we have one word that is just ours? Like, why is the root word men and the last word pause? Is it because men have to pause? Why are they pausing? Or woman? So already she has problems with the three-letter word that signifies the opposite individual with whom we are designed to mate, to make existence possible. So you can already tell that this is going to go in that type of direction. But anyways, we're going to read through it. It's us. It's always been us. We're the reason they're around. I know what you're thinking. She's single, and now we know why. But seriously, it's hard being a woman. We worry about everything, and it's because society tells us to. You're getting older. You should have kids. You're getting thicker. Eat a salad. You're in a bad mood. Shove a tampon in you. First of all, for me, nobody, absolutely nobody alive has ever told me that I need to eat a salad. Nobody has told me I'm getting older. Nobody has told me that I'm getting thicker. I'm the first one to acknowledge that I'm getting fat. Before anyone else told me, teasing me, saying, "Oh, Zam, you got fat." It's because I said that I got fat, but most people did not notice that I gained 20 pounds between October through presently. So, am I upset about that? No. Like, I know that I'm getting older, but guess what? So are you, and so are you, and so is everybody else. Just embrace the fact that your body just changes, you know? And nobody has ever told me to shove a tampon in you or in me. You're getting wrinkles. Here's a needle. Your husband is cheating. Give him a blowjob. Your kids are screaming. Gift them your boob. Get married. Look pretty. Cross your legs. Don't have sex on the first date. Don't eat carbs. Don't eat dairy. Produce dairy. Yada, 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 yada. I met with an agent once before I was signed. She told me I needed to lose some weight. Instead of asking that bossy old prune if she needed some water, I smiled as I left and cried all the way to the elevator. Hasn't watching Mean Girls taught anyone anything? Girl on girl crime is not okay. I mean, there's no crime about that. You're entering a career in which there are expectations about your physique, your physical image, and this is someone who is trying to give you a heads up, someone who's trying to get you ahead of the game. If I were someone trying to be in a career in which my looks are what matter, I would appreciate someone telling me that I'm fat as hell, that I am too fat to be acceptable, to be taken seriously in the industry that I'm about to get hired in. If you cannot handle that, this industry is not the industry for you. But anyways, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of dodging a guy I know on the street because I'm not wearing mascara. Are guys even conscious about what makeup looks like? From what I understand, there's no guy actively zooming into your face going like, let me see if this girl stretched out her eyelashes. Nobody, absolutely nobody in the planet does that. Unless you're in the beauty industry that's obsessed with that stuff. But the average person, this is stuff that we ain't gotta worry about. But you're making it seem like this is happening everywhere that you turn to. Like, I can relate to this. I don't. But anyways, I'm sick of acting like I'm not human who passes gas. You see, even there, I was reluctant to use the word fart because girls don't do any of that. They don't fart or poop, and when they do, it's pink fairy dust that smells like flowers. Well, I'll tell you right now that I come from a long line of gassy women, and although I'm not proud, I am not ashamed either. If you were not ashamed, you would not be feeling a complex about it to where you have to write an article that has the potential of reaching millions of people, and you're saying that people judge you for that. Yeah, people judge everybody for passing gas because that shit is just disgusting. It doesn't smell good. If there's something unpleasant up in the air, people will complain about it. I complain about the people who do it at the gym. I complain about it anytime I smell it. I complain about me, you know? But you seem to have a hard time understanding how the human body works, and you're not happy about it, and for some reason you want to put your insecurities onto other people like this is happening. Maybe it happened once or twice where you were in school and someone figured out that you're the one who farted, and then someone started picking on you and making fun of you for the rest of the year about it, and you just could not get over it. Like, get over it, you know? I I I don't know. This is something that I just cannot relate to. If it happens to me and it's loud and someone hears it, it's like, guess what? I'm human and I ate beans or I ate something with fiber in it. You know, so I am going to be on the noisy, stinky side. But if you don't want for that to happen to you, what you do is you make a plan. But I feel like people are trying to not figure out how their bodies work, and then they try to make it seem like it's society's fault that life is difficult for them. And that's why I sit here and I say I cannot feel sympathy for people who are like this. So, anyways, let me catch up with what the lovely comments are saying. Wolfa says hello, hello. It's Lionheart. Yeah, I know who you are. Facts and I, there you go, using logic, I dig it. When Zamzam farts twice in one day. Your name is long now to where I cannot read the whole comment. And an angel gets his wings. anyways. Um anyways, let's see. Um I am not ashamed either. You know why? Because I'm beautiful, I'm smart, I'm hilarious, and god damn it, people like me. Maybe not after reading this, but generally speaking, I'm a catch. It's why I'm single. Well, I think that if you're really that confident about yourself to where you feel beautiful and you're smart and all that, I don't think you would be needing to highlight it in a column so that people know that you possess those traits. Because when I sit here, I don't constantly start off a video with like, hey guys, it's Zam. I am beautiful. I am hilarious. I am like intelligent. I am this and that. I don't have to present myself as such. You, the viewer, will determine that just by listening to me and just by observing me. It is possible that for all of you who find me attractive, 20 of y'all somewhere at some point are going to find me and are not going to say that I'm attractive. And that's fine because opinions vary from people to people. I'm not going to feel offended that someone does not find me as attractive as everybody else. I'm like, okay, I need to understand that people's desires, preferences are different, and that I cannot expect to be loved and liked by everybody. I'm not a celebrity. And even if I were a celebrity, I don't feel like I need to be celebrated to know my value, to know what I am, who I am. I established that for myself. People can supplement that. People can reinforce those feelings. But if you're going to depend on other people to impose on you what you should feel and how you should feel about yourself, you got problems. All right? But, anyways, that's just my personal opinion. This is how I think. But clearly, someone out there will not agree with what I'm saying, and that's fine. Actually, the reason I'm single is because I like to curse a lot, and because I have too many opinions and tattoos. I'm not sure if I'm the bring home to your mom type. I tried that once, no bueno. Or maybe I'm single because few people know this side of me, but it's most likely because I just haven't met someone as awesome as I am. Well, if you really think that you're as awesome as you are not going to be feeling down, I guess, about being single. It almost sounds like you don't enjoy the fact that you're single. So if you know that tattoos and all that stuff makes you lose points, why are you engaging in that behavior? If you know that you cursing a lot is something that people don't like, or your boyfriend cannot present you to their parents because of that, then why can you not curb that habit? Cursing less is probably a good thing. People are going to be like, oh, this person is respectful, this person has a professional tone, this person expresses themselves in a clean manner. For me, I personally don't care. I will express myself however I please, so that's why occasionally I drop my curse bombs around here. But I'm pretty confident in what I'm doing, to the point that doing that doesn't bother me. And I know for a couple of hours, a few times a year, I can let go of my cursing. And then in our private moments, I can drop my occasional curses. Sometimes I drop them more often than others. If I'm upset, if I had a bad day, that's how I want to express myself, I say it. But normally, I know that my boyfriend does mind if I cuss. So I'm thinking, well, however long I see him in a day, that's just a few minutes of my day that I have to like restrict myself from expressing myself in that manner. It's not like he's imposing something that's harmful on me. I can deal with that, but to me, it sounds like you are not willing to make any accommodations for the people who surround you. So you're not making yourself welcoming to other people. You're not respecting the fact that other people are different. You just want for people to like you and accept you the way you are, but you're not trying to, if people don't like something about you, you have to respect that. But you want for people to just like you like that, and they have a problem with it, it just cannot happen, you know? But, anyways, I don't have a problem with accommodating people. If someone says that they don't like cursing, I don't talk about it. If people don't like to talk about politics, I don't bring it up. If they don't want to discuss their personal matters, I don't bring it up. So you're telling me that you cannot do that for some reason. To me, that's what that sounds like. But, anyways. Anyway, I got off on a tangent there for a second. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, dogs, babies, old people, government, being a woman is hard. So, hey, cut us some slack. Be nice to us. Give us equal pay, the very one that exists already. uh, and it's not like nobody's ever nice to women. Nobody ever holds doors for women. Nobody ever lets women with children get ahead of the line. Nobody ever lets pregnant women sit down. Like someone has to give up their seat in public transport or something for the pregnant woman. Nobody ever absolutely has that kind of courtesy. No one ever. Like, no one ever opens a door for a lady getting off a car. That never happens. Society is never nice enough to do that. But anyway, uh, and for the love of everything good and beautiful, stop taxing tampons. I mean, I don't know about that tax thing, but I have heard about the so called pink tax, which has been debunked. So, anyways, it appears it is the end of that article, and then there's another one entitled "Why Being a Woman is Difficult." This was written by someone called Danielle in the HuffPost, and this was written May 28th, 2015. Let's see. Being an adult woman, for a lack of better word, is difficult. It is difficult to be an adult overall, but anyways. I'm not talking about the consistent shaving of practically every body part if you choose. At least she admits that that's a choice. Or painfully nauseous periods, or how annoying and otherwise inconvenient breasts can be. I'm not even talking about catcalling or sexual harassment or the ever present fear of practically ever taught and later learn to feel when we're alone in public. I'm talking about the decisions we make, the effortlessly simple or dauntingly monumental life choices that come with growing up and taking personal responsibility and living. How anyone possibly expects us to feel confident in said decisions is beyond me. Seriously, I don't understand it. If we decide to go to college after high school, we're probably only looking for a husband. If we decide not to go to school, we don't value ourselves enough to invest an obscene amount of money into our future. If we don't party, we're stuck up prudes. And if we do party, we're attention seekers, imbeciles of the probably harlot variety. First of all, nobody ever says that if you're seeking an education, it's because you're looking for a husband. In fact, presently, women getting higher education is actually celebrated. It's actually admired. Like, there's this is promoted so much because it used to be the tune that was sung used to be that women did not have opportunities, women could not pursue education and stuff like that. So now that you get to do it, you're claiming that people say that to you on a normal basis. No, no, that just doesn't happen like that. And what else did she say? Something about, oh yeah, if we decide not to go to school, we don't value ourselves enough to invest an amount of money that is obscene in the future. Guess what? I did not go to school. Nobody, absolutely nobody, whom I have told, strangers or friends, whatever, family, that I am not going to school, they don't say that to me at all. They asked me, "Oh, why are you deciding that?" And I said, "I do not want to go to school because I don't want to get into debts that I cannot handle." And they say, "You know what? That is a smart decision. You are talented, you are intelligent. I'm pretty sure that you will find your path in life to success." You know, very empowering words. Nobody tried to make me feel bad about not going to school. Nobody belittled me for not going to school. Nobody like debased me for not going to school at all. So I don't know what kind of people surround you, or maybe you are letting people who have expressed that in social networks to strangers whom you don't know, you're trying to let that shape you, and then you think that this is an epidemic. But people in real life, in person, this is probably something that happens very rarely. There are people who can say those things. I'm not saying that everybody is exempt from people who think this way, people who say that. There are people who say that. That's the reason you are able to put together that sentence. Someone has experienced that somewhere. But it is very, very far in between. I guarantee you. If we don't party, we're stuck up prudes. If we get married, we want someone else to provide for us, or we're playing house, or we have decided our dreams aren't worth pursuing. I mean, to get married, it pretty much means that you're sharing your life with someone. If you're getting married to someone who is depriving you of pursuing your dreams, you do not need to get involved with that person. But there are some people out there who provided for. Some people also get married just to combine the resources and give themselves stability. That's what partnerships are. But you're trying to make it sound like that's a bad thing. It's all in your head. You saying that your dreams are not worth pursuing, that is in your head. Just because you get married doesn't mean that you cannot pursue your dreams. Now, if you get married and end up having kids, that may make your path difficult because as a female, you have responsibilities, you have expectations as a mother that you have to fulfill in the same manner that man's expectations are to be providers. So that's why they're out all day working, bringing money, food to the table, and you enjoy all that stuff. It's just roles being fulfilled. Those roles exist for a reason. They exist to give you an idea of what can ensure that you have stability and you enjoy your life. It is a responsible manner of living. But you're trying to make it sound like that is a bad thing. If we have children, we're giving up on our personal ambition and no longer care about our bodies and how it happens. It's not you giving up on your personal ambitions. It just means that you cannot be self-centered anymore because you have offspring that depends on you. They need your at the you as a woman are not vanity. Having kids is not the thing for you. And just because you have kids, it doesn't mean that you have to lose your body shape. It just means that you're going to probably have to work triple hard to maintain your weight or get back in shape. Nothing wrong with that. But realistically, if you do not have the resources or the support to make that possible for you, you need to have thought about that ahead of time. I will need to sacrifice my body if my looks are important. I may need to let go of that value for the sake of being a good parent. Now, you should not let yourself go physically because what's the point of your kids having a mother that's all broken because she's out of shape? So you have to take responsibility for your body even after the fact that you have kids. It will be difficult because stuff changes, your hormones change, everything about you changes, especially as you get older. But you're trying to make it sound like that is a terrible thing. No, it's just the way that nature designed us. What you do is, as the fit individual to survive that you are, you adapt to the situation. But you're trying to come up with reasons to just whine and be like, oh, my life is terrible because I actually have to put effort into my decisions and what I'm doing. No, no, I cannot feel any sympathy for you. And we have decided to only live for our offspring. Again, children demand time. Being a parent requires you being actively present in a child's life. And because children are new to the world, they need for you to be invested. If you are not ready for that, don't have kids. It's that simple. If we don't have children, we're selfish narcissists who will later live a life of complete and utter regret while our 13 cats wait for us to die. Well, again, that is all in your head. I know that there's people out there who say, well, why are you not having children? That's going to be something that you regret later on. What you do is you absolutely meditate on this stuff. If you feel like you're going to regret it in the future, then go ahead and try to make plans so that you can start having kids earlier on. But do not have kids and then be like, oh, I'm miserable, therefore I'm going to be actively a terrible parent. No. You just get your mind together, get your resources together, and find yourself a good partner. It's just the cycle of life. But nobody is actively thinking that you're a selfish narcissist. I personally tend to go back and forth with the decision of wanting kids or not. But if someone were to tell me, you're really self-absorbed for not having kids, I'm like, well, having kids is probably not the thing for me, especially not right now. How about if you worry about your business? Defend yourself from people who try to make you feel down. But all I see is you just making a ton of noise. But oh well. If we are stay-at-home moms, we're lazy parasites sucking the life out of our significant other's bank. Well, unfortunately, there are some people who do that. There are some people who find a partner just because they want to be maintained and they don't want to go work because their hands and manicures and pedicures and whatever the fuck y'all do is going to get ruined. So, of course, you are going to be labeled as a parasite because that is what you are. If you're taking advantage of someone else, especially someone else's sacrifice of going to bed, waking up early in the morning, having to drive, and then also having to maintain you, a perfectly functioning adult human, is deciding to stay at home and do nothing, yet is demanding comfort. What have you done to supply yourself with that comfort? And I don't know about you, but if you're an average person, living off a single person's income is pretty difficult. So you are trying to find yourself someone who's going to provide for you when it's becoming very competitive out there to have a very stable source of income. How about if you go out there at least maybe part time at the very least and help maintain the house? But for some reason, you're trying to say you cannot do that. Anyways, significant others as a bank while eating entire bags of Doritos in a single sitting. If we decide to return to work, well, we shouldn't have had a child in the first place. If we're on birth control, we're promiscuous whores who have been around a few blocks and are incapable of commitment. Again, there are some people who do that. This is not people making this stuff up. If you engage in that kind of behavior and someone picks up on it, that's what they're going to remember about you, unfortunately. And that will create a reputation. How about if you establish a good legacy and maybe that'll live on? Unfortunately, people tend to remember the bad stuff better, and that's what people tend to talk about. If we get knocked up, we're morons who apparently cannot take advantage of our society's medical achievements. If we breastfeed, we're drawing necessary attention to ourselves. And if we bottle feed, we are selfish women who have been duped by society into thinking our bodies are nothing if not sexualized. Again, that is all in your head. But if you are really that concerned about what people are thinking about you in public when you stick out your titty, how about if you go somewhere discreet and you take care of your offspring? Especially since society seems to freak out about it, according to you. But usually, people find that maternal connection to be pretty warm and nice and sweet. But if you're going to be like blatantly, what is it? Ordinary about it, people will criticize you. But if you can figure out a way to be discreet about it, ain't nobody going to say crap about you. I promise you. But you're just trying to not think. If we dislike another woman, we're traitors to the sisterhood, and if we dislike a man, we're feminist psychopaths. Well, usually it is other women who bring other women down, and also disliking men for no reason is becoming a trend. This is not something that is made up. There are some people who are psychopaths out there, and they fall under the feminist category. This is not something that people are just making up. It's becoming a behavior, it's becoming a pattern, and that's why people are presenting it. So maybe don't be that person, and little by little, this pattern of behavior might disappear. But you're just trying to leave it there and even take a part on it and celebrate it. Maybe don't celebrate that anymore. If we're heavy set, we're lazy homebodies with zero self esteem, self determination, and self worth. If we're thin, we are suffering from a hidden eating disorder. If we wear a skirt, we are seeking male attention and are therefore open to any and all sexual advances. If we wear pants, we are either a lesbian or a Puritan or a tease. Again, that is all in your head. Skirts are looked as something professional as long as it's not the type that pretty much leaves half of your butt hanging out. But if you wear something that goes down to the knees or below the knees and stuff, nobody ever really talks about that. But anyways, if we cry, we're emotional basket cases at the mercy of our torrential hormones, and if we don't cry, we're cold-hearted bitches incapable of feeling anything significant. Again, it all comes to a balance. If you're constantly just crying about everything, you will be considered an emotional basket. But if you're someone who can balance that stuff, nobody's going to think of you as cold-hearted. But to me personally, I get labeled as someone who's strong. Like, despite all the adversity that I may encounter, I keep going. I don't let anything break me, and that gets celebrated. But again, that's my personal experience. If we have children and decide to leave the house without them, we're running away from our responsibilities and don't value as families as much as we protest. Unfortunately, some people do that. Some people do not like to be around their kids because they missed the days when they were single and did not have those responsibilities. That's why people say those kinds of things. Maybe don't be that parent. Um, I don't see a reason why you need to be leaving your kids behind all the time unless you just suck at disciplining them. But at that point, it's not everybody else's fault, it's your fault. If we leave the house with our children, we're a burden to those who don't have them and should learn to control them for the sake of those around us. Because it is true, nobody enjoys being around a whole group of kids who just will not shut up. Like, it is embarrassing that your kids are just constantly crying and loud and whiny. Like, why are they like that? Why do you not have control of that situation? That's what we're thinking as the public. If we wear makeup, we care what other people think. If we don't wear makeup, we're apathetic spinsters who have given up on love. Again, at least for me personally, my dating life has never depended on how much makeup I wear because I never wear makeup typically. And the times that I did wear makeup, I looked like a buffoon, so I decided to give that up. Best decision of my life. I save money. I don't waste time putting on paintings that don't look good on me. And also, I'm doing my skin some favors. God, I hope my allergies don't start attacking me now. Anyways, if we stick up for ourselves, we're sensitive fanatics and we remain quiet unless doormat, blah, 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 complaining. If we report sexual assault, we're liars or attention seekers, racked with guilt and trying to hide our sexual desires. I mean, there is such thing as people making false accusations that destroy people's lives. If we don't report it, we're cowards, doing a disservice not only to ourselves but to our potential victims in the future. Again, the right thing to do is to report it anytime that it truly happened and not just when you regret a bad date. Stuff like that. So yeah, you guys, pretty much, you guys get the gist. It's just people here talking, making noise, and I mostly disagree with that stuff. Probably it's easy for me to not have difficulties with any of that stuff because I don't dwell on that, and I'm also not an overly social person. So I guess I make it difficult to give anyone the chance to tell me such dumb things. But although I have heard some dumb things like this being said to me, it doesn't affect me because I know how I am conducting my life. I am conducting it in a manner that works for me. But these are people who are too concerned about pleasing everybody and portraying a perfect image. And I personally don't do that. But anyways, I thought it's interesting to read that type of thing because I'm thinking, well, I want to relate, but at the same time, I cannot because, again, I have taken the time to introspect and determine what matters to me and what doesn't. So maybe that's the reason why I normally don't feel like this is something I relate to. But anyways, let me catch up with the comments. Finally. I shortened my name, Zamzam. Sweet. I noticed it now. But yeah, what happens is after a certain length, the rest of the comment cuts off. It's kind of weird. And in my little cascade of comments, I have to click on it so that it expands it along with a menu of what to do with the user, like mute them or something. And I'm like, I don't want to mute you, but sometimes I accidentally hit that. But yeah, it's pretty nice. Wolf's Games is pretty good. Do you speak Spanish? I speak about 30% of it. But maybe I should get back to practicing it. I'm just not good with languages. I have become super religious in my life, so that's my current education. And I am officially retired, sold my small business. Now I live and relax and simple life in Florida. I spend most of my days dieting, slowly slimming down. I went from 230 pounds to now 212. Nice. I go to Dunkin' Donuts almost every day to get either coffee, black, no sugar, or cream, or apple juice for potassium. Next step for me is trying to get motivation to go to Planet Fitness and taking the next level for my health. Always a good thing. But for the majority of the time, I am watching stuff on YouTube if I am not studying the Torah. Thank you for speaking this. Are you on Twitter? I am on Twitter. Good day, mate. Hey, Viking. So good to see you. But yeah, you guys, that's pretty much going to conclude my rambling. A lot of the stuff that I saw on that article is not really new. Like, it's stuff that we have gone over before on the channel, so I don't want to be repetitive. But since I saw that kind of article, I thought, let me bring it up. Why not? And Momo says nobody likes you. Aw, probably nobody likes you either, and that's why you're trying to come to this comment section to tell somebody else that nobody likes me, although it's very evident that that is not true. So, have a good day. Anyways, you guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Let me know if there is something out there that's interesting that maybe you want me to read and have an opinion on. It doesn't matter what it is about. I like to read up on things like that and also share with you guys what my experiences are, because everybody's so different. The last couple of years have been the years in which I realized what a lot of people say about people being different, and it's easy, it's obvious that people are different, but it isn't until you actually sit down and talk to people and listen to people and read about what people are saying that you don't really like process all of it. And for me, it's been quite a journey, since I was never really a social person who was really out there and talking to people. Sometimes I randomly pick on someone to like message, like Viking. I message him on occasion telling him, hey, I read this. I need some leadership. I need your opinion. What do you think? So I'm so glad that I have you guys to discuss this stuff with, so that I can keep my sanity, because sometimes I feel like nobody understands me even though I am being understood. And there are times in which I feel I don't understand anybody, although I do understand people. It's just that I had been sheltered for so long that discovering the world now can be pretty daunting. But anyways, I feel much more confident now about this stuff. LFA says I missed it again. Well, darn. I need to come up with a way to just be here at random times like I used to. My schedule is definitely getting better, but the moment that my schedule gets better, technology keeps failing on me. But anyways, tonight it seemed to work pretty well. It only crapped out on me that one time about 30 minutes ago. Not 30 minutes ago, but like 20 minutes ago. I sent you links and it takes a month to get to it. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sometimes I do see the notification for your messages and then I read it and then I end up not getting to it immediately because the icon went away, and I'm like, didn't I have something to watch? Oh, right, I have to save it on my watch later. And other times I get emails and sometimes I send a one-liner and I feel bad and I'm like, I'm not going to reply until I have time to sit down. But other times it's like, I'm not in a social mood, so I don't want to make a fool of myself starting to reply and then be like, no, I'm going to be a one-liner. So yeah, I feel bad about that now, now that you bring it up to my attention. And in addition, sometimes I have people send me really good links about stuff to watch that when I do get to it a month later, I'm like, why did I not see this sooner? And it's because if I see a video being sent to me that's longer than 7 minutes, I'm probably going to skip it for a long time. but anyways, I promise you that I am getting better about it. I am getting much better about it. And Mike says, thank you. And that reminds me that in the comment section, a lot of you guys have told me about stuff to look up, and I have finally been getting back to those and finding the video, setting it to my watch later, and while I'm on the treadmill, I watch it, and then if I can get my mind together, I do a follow up video about it. But most of the times, I am too wiped out to even be able to sit here and speak coherently. But, anyways, I promise you that stuff is starting to get better. It's all good, man. Time and tech gets in the way of online stuff. Yeah, that's true. Anyways, well, you guys, once again, thanks so much for tuning in and hanging out with me. Now, let me get some sleep because I'll live. All right, guys, I'll see you soon.